superstars in my life keep coming. And now we have Ward 5 Councilmember Zachary Parker
Yes.
here at the DNC in Chicago. We're at the, what hotel is this?
The Palmer House.
Palmer House Hotel in
Very
Chicago,
historic
Illinois.
hotel.
Really?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Okay, now you're putting me on the spot, but I know it's a historic hotel.
Okay, it looks like it. It
Yes,
looks like
yes.
it. But anyway, we're not here to talk about that. We're actually here to talk about you being here, DC being in the House, and statehood, all of that. What has been the highlight for you so far?
It's been an amazing experience. This is my first Democratic convention, and it's been an amazing thrill to watch just how energized the base and voters are to support this presidential ticket. It's been great to look at the Democratic platform and see that DC statehood is officially in the platform. It's been great to hear discussions about policy. And so all in all, it's been an amazing experience. If I could say, like just yesterday, we witnessed the Obamas give their remarks, and the energy in the room was electric. And so I'm hoping that we can continue that through the election.
I talked to you earlier, and I think one of the things that inspires many of us, I was talking to Ernie Jarvis about this earlier, and that is the passing of the baton.
Yes.
And when we think about the District of Columbia, where we're seeing that happen, I mean, you are one of the newer, younger leaders that is now on the city council. Tell me how that inspires you.
It's instructive and it's inspiring. I will say the passing of the baton is not always easy. And we know that it's essential because the issues that are confronting our city, the issues that are confronting our nation, call for fresh, vibrant leadership to take the baton to the next level. And so I'm inspired. I would also say what we're witnessing here in Chicago for the convention and throughout the country is a level of excitement that I don't think would have happened if there wasn't fresh, younger leadership at the head of the ticket.
And it sounds like there's a diversity of issues, you
Yes.
know, which I think you stand for and represent as well.
That's right.
All of those things are coming out, and it shows. Well, I don't know. You tell me. I don't want to tell you what I think it shows, but you know, just how it shapes the Democratic
it
Party.
represents the slogan for this convention and this campaign, which is freedom. You hear Vice President Kamala Harris talk about that, but when she talks about implementing and expanding a child tax credit, by the way, the child tax credit, when it was implemented federally, slashed child poverty rates in half. It was the single most effective anti-poverty measure implemented in this country in more than 50 years. And so when she talks about advancing policies like that, she's talking about freedom for young people to be able to grow and thrive. When she talks about women having control over their bodies and making decisions for themselves, she's talking about women having the freedom to make their own healthcare decisions. When she's talking about a down payment assistance and building more units across the country, she's talking about the freedom of dignity and having housing. And so, for me, it is not just this hyperbolic or superficial excitement, but what Vice President Harris is putting forth are policies that are going to make the difference for young people like myself and the rest of the country.
I know it's only now it's day 3.
Yes, it's a blur. I feel like we've been going around the clock.
Right, and this program actually airs Friday.
Okay.
Friday, so it'll be sort of like looking into the future, but looking back to the future, what have you. But I have to say, up to this point, what's been sort of the highlight for you?
The highlight is being in the room, not to be cliche, but like that Hamilton saying, you want to be in the room where it's happening and you're literally witnessing time being passed from President Biden to Vice President Harris. And you see the sacrifice of older voters who are literally, I saw one woman, she was crying as the speakers were making the case for why we need to vote for Vice President Harris, to seeing young people being energized and being willing to knock on doors and vote. And so for me, this experience has just been, I use the word transcendent because I'm leaving fired up, ready and willing to do everything I can. I know in DC, we often think our votes don't really count. And so, I've been encouraging friends and everybody I know, we need to make phone calls, we need to donate, we need to get on a bus, go to Maryland, go to Pennsylvania, elsewhere, to just make the case and do our part to ensure that we can elect Vice President Harris as the next president.
Because what's at stake?
Literally life and death. I think we need to take the threat that Donald Trump poses very seriously, the threat for our democracy, the threat for our lives, the threat for the ability for us to have the freedoms that we take for granted. I don't think that's a given. Democracy is fragile, as it's often said, and I think many young folk take for granted what many of our grandparents and great-grandparents had to fight so hard for. And so for me, what's at stake is our livelihoods. It's a matter of life and death.
Okay.